What's up, everyone? It's Wacka with Sacred Draft Shrine Season 9 Power Rankings. I'm joined with a special guest.
It's Choc, everybody's favorite power rankings person, apparently.
Yes, everyone's favorite Power Rankings person. And I didn't even want to record this, but I know if I don't record it, then people will start bugging me and then I'll start feeling anxious. So I'm just gonna do it. And um, just ahead of
We are
time,
gonna do it.
I just want to tell people like these power rankings don't matter at all. These are like some people, because of the way the season worked, got extremely screwed by their randomized rolls and just like could not come back from what they got. And other people got very extremely lucky and even got very good Terra captains out of their randomized rolls. And they should be thrown in a volcano. So that's all I gotta say. So without further ado, oh, why is this not showing the correct window? What? Is this not? There we go. Okay. So our first team, as you saw like half of it already, is Liger, with Terrapagos as Tier 1, Primarina Tier 2, Goodra Tier 3, Regieleki Tier 4, Skuntank Tier 5, with added Mega Scissor, Gliscor, Latios, Talonflame, Electrode Hisui, and Ferroseed Terras. Now, this team I thought was very good before with its rolls, but he decided to re-roll Mons for like no reason, and he ended up with just worse Mons. Like he ended up with Goodra, which is worse Latias, and he ended up with Regieleki, which is just worse Electrode Hisui. So he got pretty screwed by that, and um,
What do you have before?
I don't know. Let me see if I can
We
find.
don't gotta slow things down to check it. That's fine. Um,
No, I have to
but
slow. It was Obstagoon and Venomoth.
yeah, those are better. Like just straight up
I
better.
mean,
Like
I
you're
mean, at least
crazy.
Obstagoon is better than Goodra,
I
but
mean, I'd hear an argument. Gudra's good. Like unironically, special. It's like wait for it. Yes, it is tied for the second highest special attack on his team. Like
yeah,
it's not
with
a
his other
slouch.
dragon type, that's also very specially bulky.
Yeah, it doesn't work great with Latias. Like, I would argue against this being the worst team personally because I think the next team is my worst team, but it's not.
They might be.
It's definitely the bottom of the
Yeah.
few
So I don't know
for
if you can
me.
see Chalk, but the teams are like color coded on the bottom, and like they're kind of separated in tiers, and the bottom two are definitely
Okay.
like together.
No,
So
I see that now. I
yeah,
can hear that
it's hard
argument.
to see
Like,
it, but I just want to mention
uh,
that, and I will release these to the public so that they can see the tiers as well. But yeah, what else do I have to say about this team? I mean,
Terrapagos is like an okay mon, but guess what? It isn't. It isn't like it's a good support mon. Like it's a great support mon, but it's not like usually going to win you games by itself.
oh,
And
I
I don't know.
disagree. I think Trapagos can win games like on its own. It's not
I
like the
mean,
best at it, but I've certainly done better with Trapagos than a lot of other
anything
mons that
can. You
consider its
could
win
look at
cons.
freaking Electrode H and be like, "Oh, this could win games on its own." Like it absolutely can. But for me, I'd rather have most of the top mons than that myself.
Mm.
Um,
I guess that's
I'd
where we
rather have
differ. I
this.
think
I'd rather have
Trapagos
this than where what I got. But
maybe. I think Trapagos is like a top five draft mon, but maybe that's just
crazy,
me. I think other people
insane,
are starting to catch
insane
on to it
statement.
though.
Insane
I don't
statement.
know. But our next team is Powerful, who does not have a Trapagos, unfortunately. He was another
This
person
is
whose rerolls I very much disagreed with. I think he had Nidoqueen. Yeah, he had Nidoqueen as tier 3 and Dragonite as his tier 2 over Ogerpon, Wellspring, and Porygon 2. And I think those two mons were just a lot better. And he should have just rerolled two cannon. I mean, like, two cannon's fine, but if you wanted, like, just a better Mon as your tier 5, then go ahead and reroll 2 cannon, but um, I do think he drafted some decent mons afterwards. Um, I like the Galarian Slowbro Terra because I dropped it for him. Um, Quack wins games. Cinderace I've seen recently to be pretty good. Grimmsnarl at least is kind of like a prep whore, where like you have to prep for Grimmsnarl, but Grimmsnarl is not like amazing or anything. And I'd say Orthworm's kind of shit, but I think you can kind of work with Grim or with Orthworm. But the other problems with this team, like there's no ground type, um, and you're relying on Jolteon, which isn't Terra, by the way. Not really sure why it's not a Terra captain, but um, which means he's probably not gonna want to use Jolteon a lot, and he kind of loses to like a lot of Volt Switch spam. I feel.
Oh, this team is just. I'm sorry to say it. It's just this team is not good. Um,
No.
no ground type is bad. You have a single. Nope. I'm sorry. You have two Stealth Rock resists. Um, now, which I think you probably want more than that. Like, you are so susceptible to knockoff spam because like Cinder wants his boots. Porygon 2 needs its Violite. Mew does not want to eat a knockoff. Slowbro does not want to eat a knockoff. Jolteon is frail. Like, you get 6 of it by Weavile.
I think it's
I'm
not
sorry.
that bad with the knockoff spam, but he has 2 spinners, and I think he can slot spin on one of them at least once a
Oh,
week. And
oh
Mew
no,
can
that like yeah,
default because Mew is like basically what you think Terrapagos
yeah.
is. It's like a support mon,
It's
but
a fine enough mon. I mean, I like it better than a lot of high tier options because you can do a lot with it, especially if you get it like forced on you, like you did. But like, yeah, just this team to me is not cohesive. Like you have threats, sure, and you have screens that you can like set up in front of Quack, but like all your opponent has to do is put a single Brick Breaker defog on him on, and then all of a sudden you're like, you just lose. Like you just spent 2 turns getting up screens, and now you just lose.
I can
I
kind of
just
agree with that.
I don't care about this team. Like, I don't care for this team. Like,
Yeah.
can you win? Yeah. Are you probably gonna beat me? Probably. But like, I don't think you have a good team.
All right. Well, just making sure everything's running fine. Yeah, it looks like it. Wait, can you talk for me again?
Talk,
Okay. Cool.
speak.
You might be a little bit louder than me, but that's fine.
That's what the
But
audience
so,
wants,
anyways,
anyways.
our next team is Chickadee, who I think got pretty lucky rolls. At least he has like not a bad mon with his top 5. They're just a little bit incohesive. Like Polterachi is fine, but then you got Barraskewda without rain. You have a little Marowak, which is like a double ghost, but I preferred if he would have teared a Lolowak, but he teared Cloth and Swellow instead. Then he drafted Kartana, Claydol, Mega Altaria, Rotom Heat Drapion. And I just felt like this team's a little bit defensively weak overall. He does not switch into like special moves at all. Especially like Shadow Balls. His Shadow Ball switching is Drapion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is good, but like, what are you gonna run Assault Vest Drapion every week? Like,
yeah, I mean like it can run Assault Vest, but
oh, it's good.
It's not
It's a
amazing.
good mon, but like, you don't want your entire defensive core to be Drapion. And you know what? I'll give you Rotom Heat, like, and of course Jirachi, but at the same time, Jirachi is susceptible to again the most popular move, Knockoff, and literally any Ghost type. Um, so
Yeah, I do think Mega Altaria can kind of patch things a lot too, but it is a little bit. It's been power crept like quite a bit
it's a
defensively
good
and
mon.
offensively, but it's still a good
I
mon.
remember looking. Yeah, I remember looking at it and thinking it was at a good price here. So like, I think
Oh,
it's a
it
good pickup. Like,
for sure.
you put it at a good price for sure.
I think it was 11 bucks
But
or so.
I think this team's better than my team. Like, I think I'm gonna start saying that a few times.
You're gonna keep saying that until we get to your team, but
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. This team might. I think this team is being underestimated by you a little bit. Like Polt is amazing. He has
It
Trick
has some
Room if
good
you use
stuff.
it.
It's just a little weird
He
to
has
me.
like a
And I think he chose the wrong mons to tear. I think he should have teared Claydol, like low key.
um.
But
Is it cost the same as Cloth? Because like I don't legitimately, I've never seen Cloth do anything relevant in a draft game ever. But I'm not going to sit here and trash on it because it's just like a tier 5 and it probably cost him like 1 point to Terra.
Cloth,
Claydol's probably
it
more than that.
I don't know. I think Ryan tried using Cloth, and I feel like he got screwed over every time.
Yeah, it's just not good. Like
Yeah,
it's not good. It doesn't have the bulk to use Regenerator, and Anger Point is a meme or whatever it's called, Shell Anger
Anger
something.
Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
I definitely do think I am underestimating it, but I also think like, for the most part, I'm looking at like Barraskewda and like some other mons that just don't feel
he
right to
might
me.
not have been
But
able to afford it. It costs 1 more point to Terra Claydol, and I don't know how many Swallow used. If you can afford it, I don't know what you drop, so never mind. Unless you had a point left over, just yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, Chick was also like in a tier by himself. I thought he wasn't like bottom 3, but he also wasn't like within the next the next two, which includes Fletch, your favorite team, with the Victini,
I
Corviknight,
actually think
Raikou.
I would hear an argument for Chick to be like 3 or 4 spots higher.
He probably should be, and to be honest, I put this together pretty fast, but anyway. We're on Fletch's team, no, we're not on Chick's team. So he's got the Victini, Corviknight, Raikou, Mega Absol, Kabutops, Pecharunt, Swampert, your favorite mon, Slitherwing, your second favorite mon, Tapu Bulu, Cyclozar, and Rabombi, both with Terra. Well, you just play this team, so what do you think about it? Other than
I think it's a bad team. I lost on the first turn because I did not anticipate the lead or build properly around it. I didn't even think that you should have brought that. But I mean, you should not have brought Swampert because I had 2 grass types and freeze dry on team preview, like draft. Like I was mad about that and still am. Like I don't think your team is good. Um, Corviknight is so abusable. Like all you got to do is bring fire or electric.
I
Pekka
agree,
is abusable.
Corv.
All you got to do is bring dark or ground. Like Pekka sucks. It's bait. I actually think Mega Absol is good and like probably a good role, but like
I
it's
also agree.
frail.
Mega Absol is a very good role.
Kabutops is trash, but it's tier 5. Slitherwing is bait. It's not that good. What happens if you run into a single flying type? Like you lose. You just lose if you have a flying type. My flying type was trash because Mega Absol deleted it. But like any normal team, you just lose to a single flying type. And like what are you gonna do against a flying electric with Volt Absorb? Because there's like 8 of them. Like, what are you gonna do if your teammate has any of those? You just lose. um,
Yeah.
Team is not good. I would put this lower than Chick 100% of the time, and I would. I didn't like Power Fable's team, or I don't know. So, but like I don't know. I don't like this team. It's best. It has 2 Stealth Rockers, and they're both 4 times weak to grass, and that's all you have for hazards. Like
That's also
it,
true.
Webs.
That's
I mean,
part of the
Webs
reason
isn't
I
a
put it
hazard. I don't
low.
care what you say. Webs is not a hazard. Like hazards damage your opponent. Like
I as many times as I've drafted webs, I've only ever clicked webs like twice ever, and like most people just draft like levitators and like just defog
yeah,
on the webber.
right. And if
So,
you just bring heavy duty boots if you're worried about it.
but
Like
see, it's not about the sticky web. It's about Terra Quiver Dance with Rabombi. I feel.
yeah,
That's why he
Ribombi
has it.
with its amazing 60, 60, 70 bulk. Like
It's
I
not
don't know.
amazing,
I
but
don't
it can do stuff, and all it needs is coverage, which it lacked without Terra. I think
if I
Rabombi is a
had
fine Terra.
like built like if I just built Breloom differently, I don't ever lose to this team. Like I just didn't expect what happened, so I don't think this team is good. I
Okay.
don't expect you to
All
win too
right.
many more games.
The next team is Joey. We need to stop talking about Fletch. Anyway,
What?
so you got a Mega Lopunny, Cephalon, Blissey, Hatterene, and Mabostiff with Galarian Slowking, Rotom Wash. Um, he is definitely washed. Excadrill, Noivern, Whimsicott, and Sneasel. Noivern and Sneasel are Terra captains. This is a team I thought was a little bit better before his rerolls. He had a Duraludon. I think Duraludon's a good Pokemon. But at
Instead
tier
of
5, and
Mabostiff?
Mabostiff is not a good mon. Sneasel is definitely a lot better than Mabostiff, but Hatterene's fine. Actually, let me see what his rerolls were. It was tier 4 Durant and tier 5 Duraludon. So, I'd say Hatterene was a better mon than Durant. Durant sucks ass. But Duraludon definitely should have stayed on our team instead of Mabostiff. Or at least he
Yeah.
could have, like, redid, like, the Sneasel or something. I don't know. I'm just not really threatened by a lot on this team. Megalop
Yeah.
and Blacephalon, I think, are a little bit scarier than people would assume, but they're not, like, top-tier threats. And, like, Excadrill's kind of bad, especially without Sand. And
Megalop is a top
the
tier
rocks
threat.
are banned anyway. What about Megalop?
What do you mean the rocks are banned?
The weather rocks.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Megalop is a top tier threat.
sure.
Blacephalon just loses to a bulky normal type. End of story. um, which, granted, like there are things that like some teams won't have because we lost half our team slots to randomization. So, like, I don't think I have one, but I think Fletch's team is better. Not Fletch. Chick's team. Chick's team is better than this in my opinion. This team to
It
me
very
feels
well could be.
disjointed. This team to me feels like I really don't know like what you're trying to do
I think
here
he
in any
has,
given
like,
game.
I think he has like a bulky core with like a Blissey, G-King, Wash, and like
Yeah, like
those
you
are
got some
super
okay
annoying
pivots.
to prep for. And I think Megalop and Blacephalon kind of work together offensively. And then he has like the Hatterene, that does nothing for his team, but it's
Yeah,
like
like
a
Noivern
fine
can
mon.
come Terra Boom Burst normal. Like you have things you can do, but like I don't know. I just I don't love it.
Some of his draft picks were a little bit strange. Galarian Slowking, I knew he was gonna pick Galarian Slowking as soon as I passed up on it. Because I was looking, I wanted to draft Galarian Slowking, but I was like, that's lame.
In
And
both
I
of
knew he was gonna take it. So
yeah.
it shows that like he understood the mission, and then he picked
Okay.
Rotom
He
Wash.
misunderstood the mission. Galarian Slowking to me is one of the most fraudulent picks. I have played against it many times. I have used it many times, and it never accomplishes anything. Like,
Yep, and that's why he's my all-time kill leader. Moving on to Jaden. So we have 3. This next tier has 3 people who all got extremely screwed by the randomized rolls. I think Jaden made the most out of his rerolls. He re-rolled Decidueye Hisui for Cloyster, and he re-rolled Excalibur for Celesteela. And I think those are a bit better for Jaden. However, Jaden cannot go any higher because he does not have a fairy type. And no, Knucklestack is not a fairy type, Jaden.
Why not?
But I can assure you he will tear Knucklestack or Flygon into fairies. It's just in a PR setting, I can't put this any higher without a fairy type. But he has double steel, which is why I still have it higher than 5 other teams. Celesteela and Iron Crown are very, very good mons, and I think either can check a dragon. Even Cloyster can check like a physical Dragon Dancer with its bulk. And yeah, he also has Pincurchin for his Iron Crown and Iron Jugulis, which is cool.
And his Raichu Alola, which, like, if you're getting that as your free tier 5, quote unquote,
Oh
like
yeah, Raichu
use it.
Lola. I moved that mon down like 2 points because I never see it get drafted, and he just happened to roll it, and I'm like, wow. And
Yeah,
I
I
know
mean
he's gonna
Pincurchin
grab
though is
Pincurchin with
just
it, so
it's
he did
just
get
such
very
a
lucky.
momentum sink. Like
Raichu Lola's a momentum sink, or what?
no, Pincurchin.
No, it's not. You can
Yes, it
memento.
is. Yeah, you can suicide a mon to make another mon faster. Ooh. I don't know. It can definitely sweep an unprepared team, but like Pincurchin to me is just so
I think
bad.
I think Pincurchin should be more
However,
like an eject button mon. So you can come in once, survive a hit, go into Crown Jug or Raichu, and then do it again later. And then you
yeah.
have Mega Venusaur and Celesteela as like a defensive core,
Oh no,
like
this
backup
team to
shit.
me should be like significantly higher than it is, in my opinion. You're just putting it too low because it doesn't have a fairy type, but like, who cares? Just Terra
Well, he
Knuckle
also
Stack.
doesn't have a
It's a
normal
fairy
type,
type.
but
Okay, he has. What do you need a normal type for besides avoiding Shadow Ball spam? And he has Jugulus, and Knuckle Stack can also be a dark type.
Necklaceck naturally resists ghosts. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
um, I mean, this could have went a few spots higher. I just
Yeah,
have like so the things I have in tiers, I have most of them in like alphabetical order. So
yeah.
whoops, I just
I
clicked on something.
yeah.
Anyway,
I me being higher than this team is a travesty, and it's a travesty. This is a good team. Mega Venusaur like single-handedly carries. Celesteela is obnoxious to deal with. Cloyster can click a Shell Smash and win the game. Sneasler is an offensive threat. You have electric terrain if you want to screw around with that. Uh, Draco Vish is just in there randomly too. Like all of a sudden, if you don't prep for Vicious Rend, you just lose. Like this team should be way higher. That's my piece on it.
maybe, but PRs are bullshit, and that's why this team is low. Um, but now we got Sam, who I would agree is he has a much worse team than Jaden, but he got the most screwed with the rolls. He got 3 electric types originally, and then one of his rerolls, he went from Arctozolt to Dracozolt, and I felt so bad, but it was so funny. And then he rerolled that to Blastoise, so he got 2 bulky Gen 1 water types. But at least it allows Blastoise to be offensive. And I think Mega Ampharos is fine because his electric type doesn't actually resist electric. Um, among his other 2 water types and his ground typing Dugtrio. I think Mega Ampharos is fine, Sam. Shut the fuck up. And
It's all right. It's not a bad mon. Like it's okay.
yeah, I would love Mega Ampharos instead of Rotom-Mow. Um, what else? He has alright speed tiers. I mean, Dugtrio to Zapdos is a little bit
Is
not good, but
arena
there's not
trap
much that
legal?
abuses that. Um, his removal is kind of fake, but he has Toys and Zapdos, and that's like kind of all you
Oh,
needed.
arena trap's legal.
Yeah,
Okay, this team's okay.
this
Um,
I would actually say this team makes a lot of use out of Dugtrio Arena Trap.
oh, I agree. Like it's kind of funny that your top four mons are all Gen Oneers. And then you
Yeah,
got Aerodactyl too.
and then
Like,
a very early Gen 2 mon. Yeah.
dude, Blaziken, like if you don't prep properly, you just lose. As someone who had Blaziken very recently and did well with it, it's great. It's so good. Um, Terra Arboliva, we all know about Terra Arboliva. Sylveon, I hate prepping for that mon. Like, get it out of my face. And the reason I hate prepping for it is because it's good. So this team's decent. This is like what a middle of the pack team is. And I'll say it again: the fact that my team is higher than this is a travesty.
So, moving on to the last team that is below yours, I have Nine Team,
Spoiler alert.
which I hate this team, but it
Crazy.
it is
Crazy.
it isn't really that bad on a PR standpoint. I have kind of quite a bit going for it. Um, I actually have no red squares at the bottom, so I'm not like overall weak to anything. Um, Maybe you could say fairy because I'm relying on stack attack and quillfish to deal with fairies, but King Gambit can do that. Because King Gambit doesn't give a shit about what is coming its way unless it's a fighting move.
I'm arguing about your ground. Like you're weak to ground. You're not bringing Lorantis. Let's be real. Rotom Mo isn't a real
I'm
mon. Let's
totally
be
bringing
real.
Lorantis. You don't get it. And
Okay, I'd bring it against me, please. Like, let me win one
no,
game this season.
okay, so I am weak to ground, yes, but there's no red square there, so I'm not weak
Okay,
to
yeah,
ground.
you're right. There's no red square, but there should be.
Um, you know, I mean, I don't really like any of the mons on my team, but
You're
this
crazy.
is the best I
You want to
could do.
trade teams? Just entirely trade teams? I would love
No,
to trade teams with you.
no, I don't like your team
Yeah, okay.
either.
And yet, for some reason, you put me higher than you. But look, Boring
Because
Moon
my roles were
is
shit.
okay. It's
So
all right.
I got screwed by
King
rolls.
Gambit is
I got
amazing for tier two. Um,
no, it's not.
Glade
I
is
got two
amazing for
dark type
tier
super
three.
dragons and two grasses, and then I
Okay,
re-rolled to a Clodsire, and I'm like, yeah, Clodsire loses games. And then I re-rolled, I got Glade, and Glade's
Glade
fine,
is
but
great.
Glade should not have been a tier three. That should have been my
Uh,
Rotom-Mow. But
listen,
anyway,
listen, listen.
if
Lorantis is not real. Your other four rolls are good. Like I just trash Rotom Mo, but it's fine. It's not bad.
it's fine in tier
You
four,
have
I
an
just
electric type
Rotom-Mow
that can
sucks.
delete ground types with stab. Like it's good. Um,
No.
I don't know why you drafted Lando. To be completely honest with you, when your other
The funny thing is I rolled Landorus. I was between like five Mons, like three Psychic types, and like two Grounds, and it rolled Landorus, so I picked up Landorus. And you know what? It's fine. I will say though, that the team having Zoroark on it is really cool because
oh
Zoroark
yeah,
disguises quite a few Mons
oh
pretty
absolutely,
successfully.
like King Gambit for example. Look, uh, Zoroark was also priced really low here, like so low. I thought about it, but then I
Uh,
already like
it was 13 points.
maybe I'm thinking this of the other league that shares half the players where it was like way cheap.
Yeah,
Florges
well, most leagues
is
super are
fine.
cheap, but I think Zora Kazooie is better than Gengar, so I tier them around the same.
Terra Stack Attack is good. Inteleon Terra is actually
Yeah,
really
that was
good.
my other
The
talking
fact that
point.
you
The
got
two
both of
Terras
them
I
is
think
pretty good.
are the two of the most consistently good Terras for the
Yeah,
format.
yeah. Quillfish is fine. Like it's hazards and intimidate. Like I'm never gonna say it's bad. Yeah, no, this you have okay pivoting. You have a volt switcher and a flip turner that could actually come to games, and you can also U-turn with. You wouldn't want to
Yeah,
put U-turn on
it's
like
not an
three of the
awful
mons that you
team, but
can.
in prep I did not like using it.
Well,
But I put
I
it
like your
higher.
team significantly more than mine. So as I've said before,
Let's just get to your team because you're annoying. So we got your bundle
oh,
Tinglu, Breloom, Mesprit, Trevenant, Terra Diggersby, who I am starting to think is not as good as I thought it was. Wheezing Galar, Raging Bolt, Empoleon, Salazzle, and Terrazatu. Not Terra Salazzle for some reason. Um, yeah, you have a team. It is kind of weak on the special side, but you have a Tinglu. Tinglu walls everything. Um, you have Terra Diggersby, which people are very, very scared of for some reason. Um, and you have Empoleon as like your special wall. I thought Empoleon had higher special defense than 101, but whatever.
it has good
Um,
HP too to back it up. That's why.
Zatu, as everyone should know, it slays a bunch of Ubers. So theoretically, it should be slaying the other top tiers. And I believe in Zatu. I think it's a good mon. Magic bounce is very helpful with Terra, I feel. And you can make it bulky. It gets like cosmic power and stuff. Um, I'm
It
kind of
only
all
has
over the place.
65
Your team is a
HP.
little bit all over the place. I do have this high though because I like bundle Tinglu. I like your randomized rolls, except for like maybe Trevenant. because you had Breloom.
Trevenant is fine.
But
It is fine.
Trev is fine. It's just I don't know if I like it with Breloom.
Now look, I'll explain something here. I decided I was going to embrace the theme, and whatever my roles were, I was going to live with them. Otherwise, Breloom would be gone. This mon's terrible. Fraud. Bundle would be gone. Bundle is a fraud. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this thing, like, your best move is Hydro Pump. And what's your special attack? Oh, barely higher than freaking Mess Spirit. Like, okay, bro, get out of my face. You suck. Yes, it's fast, but who cares if it doesn't one hit KO things? You essentially
Well,
need
the thing with
rocks and
Bundle,
like 3 layers of spikes to one hit KO anything, which is a joke.
well, the thing with Bundle is it's kind of walled by like bulky normals and like maybe bulky darks like Umbreon. But you have Breloom.
Steel type. I have Breloom. Breloom sucks. Look, I
I think
hate
Bundle Breloom works well together, and I think you're
Bundle is
underestimating
legitimately probably
Bundle.
the worst top tier mon. I don't know why people keep valuing it. I don't know why people keep drafting it.
Water
Like
Ice is
it,
super hard to switch into, and it's very good.
Water Ice is
And yours
super
mad.
easy to switch into. Have I introduced you to a single bulky water type? And before you go, freeze dry, let me tell you, 70 BP. Thank you. That is all. This is not a good team. Like I have individual pieces that are good, but like my picks were just trying to patch holes in my randomized mons, and like I don't know. Maybe I'll give my spirit a whirl, and maybe it'll prove me wrong. Trevenant is good. It's just slow. um, I don't even know if Zadio gets Trick Room. It probably doesn't. But yeah, Magic Bounce is fine, but it's coming off of like 65 HP, so you know.
You have 3 Trick Room mons.
Okay. Trevenant can set its own Trick Room. I've drafted it probably like 3 times, and I didn't even know that because I like I'm that person who never drafts a good grass type. In case you ever paid attention to my drafting, I'll always like get to the end of my draft and go,
Well,
I
at
need
least you
I need a
draft a
grass.
grass type. Most people don't even draft grasses anymore, and then I'm like, cool. I can
Leech
use my
Seed.
waters. People don't draft a life
Yeah.
force either. So the team tied with you is our seasonal rain team with the Zeraora, Archaludon, Reuniclus, Terra, Lokix, Boltund, Swampert, Enamorus, Pelipper, Matang, weird, Tentacruel, and Decidueye Hisui. Terra, I think Decidueye Hisui is a very good Terra. I think Lokix is a solid Terra. Not that it needs like a specific Terra, it just likes the damage
Oh,
boost, I think.
it's nice to have because if you don't kill whatever's in front of you, you're gonna die. Like
Pretty much.
if you don't kill it, you're gonna die. Unless you're looking at like a Chansey or something, you're gonna die.
Pretty much.
So.
I can confirm from using low kicks recently that it's not the best mon, but it is very close to being a good mon, and Terra is like all it needs. So I think it's a good mon. You randomized some good mons for Rain specifically, like Archaludon and Zeraora with the Pelipper Mega Swampert. And you even have Boltund. I think Boltund is the problem with the team. He should have re-rolled that. What was his tier 1? His tier 1
literally a
originally
tier
was
5.
it was Mega Mawile, and he re-rolled that, I think.
Crazy, insane luck. I mean, it is what it is. It's a Rain team. It does what it says in the box. I suck at playing Rain. Like, I can never make it work. It doesn't mean Rain is bad, but like, yeah, you're a Rain team. Like, if your opponent doesn't have the right answers in draft, like they lose. If they do, you lose because you only really do one thing. That's just what it is. Like if you pilot it well, you can definitely do really well. Reuniclus is good, by the way. Underrated threat. That thing gets up like 2 Calm Minds and like you're in deep shit.
I think the problem I have with Reuniclus is it lacks a lot of coverage that it wants. And it relies on
Yeah.
Thunder and Focus Blast to hit things. and that's
Yeah,
why I
you
hated
don't.
Manaclus when I drafted it.
Oh my
Um,
god, dude! It literally has a rain team with Thunder Raniclus. Like,
yeah,
bro,
no, Ranaclus fits this
actually,
very well because of Thunder in the
the
rain.
reason that I think this team is roughly properly placed is the Rain Rock is banned. So, yeah.
He doesn't need it though. At least he doesn't have Politoed. I think Politoed relies more on the rock. Pelipper at least has like you don't have to worry about like, oh, do I run boots or do I just run the rain rock? And sometimes the rock kind of fucks you over because sometimes you don't get in your rain sweeper until like 2 turns of rain is over. And without
Yeah,
the rock, you can just sack off Pelipper and then go into your rain abuser. And this team isn't
yeah.
overly reliant on rain. I think Archaludon functions well without it. Even Mega
Oh
Swampert
yeah, for sure.
functions well without rain. It's still a Swampert. Tentacruel doesn't need rain. Nothing else needs rain on this team, really.
One
Some
of these days,
functions.
I'm gonna. One of these days, I'm gonna take Mega Swampert from a team that like drafts Pelipper or Politoed. I'm just gonna be like, "Fuck you! You don't get your sweeper," and just
Oh,
use
I
it
did that in
outside
the
of rain.
speed tour. Um, oh, the other issue I had with this team is the removal is a little bit weak, and low kicks is your ghost resist on a team that's a little bit especially frail, but it's fine because
Especially
you can
frail,
switch
you're
into your
ignoring
Namorous.
Tentacruel.
You can switch into Namorous on a Shadow Ball and get the Shadow Ball contrary boost. So that
And
happens.
then you still die to the next one because Enamorus is a fraud.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get it.
I actually think this team would be so much better without Enamorus. Like, is there another fairy that you could buy and
Oh
then
yeah,
maybe you can upgrade
he had
Metang?
Mega Diancie, he had Mega Mawile, and he chose Enamorous. Mega
Insane.
Diancie sucks though.
I mean,
So
he needed to get Mega whatever. Like,
Mega Audino.
yeah, just imagine
Actually, yeah,
this
Mega
team with
Audino actually
like,
would have fit this team really well, and then he could have
yeah, but he
upgraded
he
Metang.
has to. He can only have the one Mega, so. Like, imagine
Yeah.
dropping an Amorous for Clefable, you get 2 points back, and then, like,
Oh,
go
is Clef
buy,
open?
like,
Damn.
Clef is open. Like, drop an Amorous, get Clefable, and then, like, you can upgrade Metang to something usable. Like a. Metang, okay, it can Stealth Rock, but so in other words, it has a use, but, like, why would you waste a slot on that on this team? You can get something you might actually bring, and I think your team is even better. But don't take my
I will
advice.
say
I am
from
going to win 0 games this
what
season.
what
So
Sam Key told me was he drafted the Tangs because it looks cool on this prep talk, and I think that's very
okay,
based. But anyways, we're going on to our number 6 with the Danley. I do think this team is a little bit underwhelming with the Manaphy, Ogerpon, Azoth, Mega Houndoom, Articuno, Tusk, Terra Vikavolt, Terra Registeel, Togekiss, Haxorus, Garbodor. But overall, there's not like a single bad mon on this team. It's just a little bit like middling. Like every mon is just kind of mid, if that makes sense.
I mean, he has Webs Manaphy, which, like, again, there's just one of those combinations that, like, just can just, like, delete teams on team preview and you just win if the opponent doesn't have an answer.
That is true.
Registeel Terra is great. Azelf is, like, amazing, like, best lead. Uh, like, good on you for having Azelf. Ogerpon without any of its forms to me is a fraud. But, like, whatever, it's a random
I
mon, can't
I
trash it
like
too hard.
regular Ogerpon more than the other
It's
two.
crazy, crazy behavior. The best part of Ogerpon is having, like, a fire or water or even rock Ivy Cudgel, 100% accuracy, 100 move. And then, like, if you have that as grass, who cares? Grass is terrible offensively. Anyways, Great Tusk is good. Togekiss is good. Haxorus is terrifying. Like, you have a good team. I don't have a great reference for improving this. The other thing I would say is, like, if you had a good screen setter, which maybe I'm missing one, but, like, if you had a great screen setter, you have, like, Manaphy and
I
Haxorus,
think
which are, like,
Articuno can.
does it have both? I don't know enough about it to know if it has both.
Articuno does have bulk? Yeah, it's very bulky.
Both light screen and
Oh,
reflect.
are they say both?
BOTH.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like
Yeah,
Azov,
but even if it does, like you,
you're just
you don't have boots if you want light clay. So like I don't know. If you had like I don't know electrode instead of Garbodor, but then you don't have a poison type, like see that's what I mean. There's no like easy fix, but like I'm just
well.
saying, like if you had
I mean, you just
screens, I'd
replaced
be
Azov.
terrified to face you.
Doesn't Azov have dual screens?
I don't know. I usually use it to click rocks and blow up.
Well, you can use screens and blow up.
Yeah,
You can
maybe.
use
I
rocks.
bet it probably does. It probably does have both. But like, I don't know. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. It seems very fat. I was originally going to rat on this team for Mega Houndoom being your ghost resist, but the team is very fat. Other than like Azelf
Yeah,
and Tusk on the special side, and like so
yeah.
Shadow Ball's not gonna matter anyway,
Right. I have Registeel. I don't give a fuck about Shadow Ball unless you're
right?
super lucky with the F drops. And if
Yeah.
I'm really worried, like if I'm facing Spectre, I just slap Dark on Registeel and go to town. You know.
We're gonna move on to our number 5. Um, with Ryan having Meowscarada, Scissor, Skeletor, Espeon, Aurora's, Terra, Landers, Therian, Azu, Terratoxtricity, Staraptor, Tatsugiri, and Hitmontop. I think this team's very solid offensively. This is, I think, the weakest defensive team. He has Dirge and like he has some defensive pieces, but they're not like meant to be defensive pieces. I think he's gonna play this like very hyper offensively. Also, his rock resist is Hitmontop, but it's fine because he has good offense. And
It's fine because special rock types don't exist and you have Intimidate times two. So I'm a huge
yeah,
fan of the times two Intimidate builds. I've done it so many times. Like you just and they both have U-turn, so I see what you're doing. You know, get the Intimidates out, bring in something, and it clicks a
I'm sure
setup
you'd
move,
like
and
that with your Empoleon.
stop! You're giving away
He
all
has
my
unaware
shit.
Skeletor. It beats Empoleon for sure.
um, so yeah, Skeletor is a great like your random rolls are crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
his rolls
sorry,
were crazy.
your rolls, you're a
I wish
lucky
I
son of
had
a
all
gun.
those.
Yeah, that's actually insane. Like you got like a top tier Terra, you got magic bounce as your those are your worst two rolls, and then you
Only
got
in
like
only in SDS would you say Aurorus is like a top tier Terra.
I'm just playing into it at this point, but like you
I
literally
think it
got
is though. I think it is a
the
top
best
tier
tier
Terra.
5, best tier 4, like I'd rather have Espeon than freaking Mess Spirit, like in a heartbeat, like in a absolute no hesitation. Um, like so good. Skeletor just literally just like kills setup sweepers, like amazing. You have Azumarill, you have your own setup to just nuke things. Landorus is like the most versatile on. Scizor
Yeah,
is great.
most of his
Uh,
team does a lot, and that's why it's very high.
yeah,
The only
yeah,
reason I kept it
this is a
low is
great team.
because his mons, other than Meow, are like a little bit slow. He has some good Scarfers.
Mm,
I think Staraptor is a Scarfer sometimes, right?
it is. It totally is. Just slap a scarf and Final Gambit on it and call it a day.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
I actually misspoke. You have 3 intimidates. So why do you need physical defense? You don't.
Oh yeah, yeah, hit him on top. He doesn't
I
need.
mean,
It was the special defense that kind of threw me off a little bit, actually.
you lose to Scarf Alakazam in Psychic Terrain, but other than that, you're good.
No one drafted the Alakazam, so we can move on to our number 4, which is Wisdom, who has also very good rolls: the Tornadus, Therian, Darmanitan, Galar, Dondozo, Magneton, Rhydon, Terra, Necrozma, Toedscruel, Klefki, Urshifu, Single Strike, Grafia, and Hoopa. And let me tell you, I faced this team not like a few days ago, and it was like one of the hardest teams I've ever had to prep for because there's just so much here. He has freaking
I
Prankster, Klefki, and Grafia. He has offensive threat Necrozma and Urshifu with Darmanitan, U-turn spam with Torn, and very scary fucking Terra Rhydon and Terra Hoopa, and he has Unaware Dondozo. Like every Mon on this team does something except for like maybe Toadscroll. Um, yeah.
This team is giving me PTSD flashbacks to the team I just faced in SSDL, which had Necrozma, Klefki, Urshifu single. Like, bruh, what? Why? I don't. I'm mad. I don't want to face this.
Yeah, well, I just faced this and it was insane. And
Dondozo,
even
I
when I
hate
was
it.
prepping, I was like, Necrozma's just a bulky psychic. It can't hurt you. Because I was so focused on prepping for Darm and Shifu and Torn. Like, this just it's so overwhelming in prep.
This is a good team. I hate it because I'm gonna have to face it, which tells me it's good.
I will say, like, its one problem is it's kind of weak on the special side. When I was prepping for this, um, like, I just brought Inteleon, and Inteleon would have done something if it didn't miss. But like, he does
Yeah.
not switch into like a good water type because his water resist is
I
Dondozo.
mean, he has Dondozo. Like, I'm sorry, like
Dondozo
water
gets
types
two
aren't gonna
shot.
beat him.
Dondozo got two shot by
Okay,
Hydra.
okay, okay. If you say so.
It did.
All right, all right. Well, he didn't invest well enough then.
He didn't bring Dondozo.
Well, that's. I mean, it worked for him. So what do I know?
It worked
But
for him.
like,
Yeah.
I
He
the
didn't.
my only
He
mark
didn't need it.
against your team is I don't think either of your Terramons are like amazing. Like, yes,
Rhydon's
Hoopa is
amazing.
Hoopa. Okay, if you say so.
I think Hoopa is a little overrated, but I also think Hoopa's fine.
It's fine. Like it.
But he also didn't need Hoopa because he had Necrozma. I maybe would
Yeah,
have went like
that's what I'm
Terra
saying.
Mismagius or something, but it's fine.
I mean, Terra Hoopa is better than Terra Mismagius, but well, whatever. I'm not going to dwell on it too long. Like, if the rest of your team is good enough, who gives a crap about Terra? Um,
Exactly. Exactly. You don't need
yeah,
Terra.
I'm gonna get so mad having to deal with two prankster mons. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do about
It was
that.
obnoxious and prep.
It's obnoxious.
Yeah. So our number three teams, P McGee, which I think a lot of people expected this to be number one. However, I did not put this at number one because Mandibuzz is your only removal. So you can kind of just lose a hazard stack. Ogerpon can't hold boots. Choc can't hold boots. Um, and yeah, I mean, like, Mandibuzz is a very good defogger. I think it's one of the best. And I'd much rather have a Mandibuzz than a Corviknight on my team, for sure. Um, it's just a little bit passive. And it's kind of like taunt bait, I feel. But he did good. He has very amazing rolls. Pterodon Dunsparce and Terra Iron Thorns are two of the best Terras that I allowed. He has decent speed tiers. I wish Ogerpon was just regular Ogerpon because item. But people like Hearthflame, so I won't really.
It's way better than regular Ogerpon. You're in the minority there.
I am the minority, but it's my
Terra
PRs.
Dunsparce is not that good. It's just I don't know. It's not that good.
I think it is, but to each their own. Has very
We'll
high
see.
HP and like
We'll see.
decent defenses it can boost on either side.
Okay.
I think a good Terra would actually do a lot for it. Just kind of depends how you can get it to set up. But I know P McGee is gonna use it very well. What else is there? There's also a whole Greninja. I fucking hate Greninja. I think Greninja sucks, but I won't deny I've seen Greninja pull some heinous shit. Pheasantipity has also pulled some heinous shit. It was, I think, the kill leader last season, if not like pretty far up there. And then you have Webb's Orbeetle that helps Chomp and Ogerpon out.
Yeah, you want Webs because your team is not that fast. Like, you're really not that fast. Keep in mind, Garchomp is faster before it megas, so it speeds here
Still a
here on the
Garchomp
screen.
without an item, and Garchomp is a little bit power crux.
Yeah, the
But
Garchomp is great.
I like Megachomp a lot.
I think it's good for a roll.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he also rerolled. he had Zygarde 10% instead of the Dunsparce, so I thought it was super funny. But he got lucky anyway, so it didn't matter. So our number 2 team, I have Sacred Ash, which if there wasn't an Iron Valiant and Iron Treads with Coco, this team would have went so much lower. But because we have those 3 plus Slowking, I want to argue Slowking also makes this team a lot better. This team would have been like kind of bottom of the barrel. But like Coco Treads Val is super hard to prep for, I think, and most people are gonna be like over hyper focused on them. And then you have like a Mega Beedrill and like a Moltres offensively that kind of fucks people, and like a Mousehold that's kind of like sitting there quietly. Terra Lola Slash with Slowking is very nice as well. And then I guess there's a Guzzlord.
Who cares? You just had points to spend at that time, like.
Yeah, and I think Guzzlord's a good mon, so it doesn't really take away too much. I would say he should have maybe took some time to like reroll. I think maybe he did reroll his tier 5. I think he pulled Illumise. Let me see. He rolled. Okay, so his tier 3, instead of Decidueye, he had Porygon Z. I thought maybe he had a different tier 5.
I mean,
Maybe
it works really well into his type chart.
Yeah. Decidueye?
Decidueye. Yeah.
Yeah, Decidueye does help his team quite a bit. As much as I don't like Decidueye personally, I do think it fits his team.
And like,
fair.
you know, you can dog on Illumise all you want. Who cares? Who cares?
No, Illumise
it's
is a good
literally never coming to a game. Like, who cares?
Yeah, it is. It's for sure coming to a few games. It's a prankster bitch.
Who cares? It's an Illumise. Like, if you're really gonna not fit a different mon for it, it's on you. So like, I'm ignoring that because it's not a real mon. Yeah, no, it's a good team. Who cares about the type chart, because Beedrill doesn't ever take a hit anyways.
Right,
you know,
let me
like,
see. Like, if I delete Mega Beedrill, he only has like a fire
Yeah.
weakness.
yeah, a fire weakness, and you have Moltres, and what's that? You clicked a fire move? Oh, that's great. Iron Valiant just clicked Swords Dance and is going to kill you now.
Yep. Pretty
Or
much.
even Calm Mind, or whatever the hell that stupid thing does. Yeah.
Our last team is Hysterically's team. He rolled, I think, some of the best mons possible in every tier, except maybe his tier 1. But Darkrai is still a fine mon. Boulder with the tier 2, Conkeldurr at tier 3, Tinkaton tier 4, Leafeon at tier 5, drafting Iron Moth, Tapu Fini, Bellibolt, Tornadus, Terra Ambipom, and a Donphan. Every mon is a threat on this team. Even Leafeon, I think Leafeon's very good. It's a good bulky grass, honestly, and I think people should use Leafeon more. It's also an evolution that has access to knockoff, which is cool.
His whole damn
Every other
team
mon
gets
is just very
knockoff.
threatening.
His entire team learns knockoff. What the fuck is this? Sorry, pardon my French.
Oh yeah, no, everything except like what, Bellibolt and Boulder.
So
and
funny.
Yeah.
This is a good team. I would argue Sacred Ash's team is better, but you know, I'm not gonna sit here and like die on that hill.
I just think
Darkrai's
team
great.
is a little bit more consistent and less reliant on certain pieces. Like with Sacred Ash's team, he's a little bit reliant on Coco staying around. And he also has like, I mean, like, I'm not like bashing on Illumise, but Leafeon is a little bit more solid.
I mean, sure, but again, who cares if it never really comes to a game? Okay, it probably comes to a game, you're right, but like, who cares if 9 out of 10 games it doesn't matter? You can only bring 6 mods. Like, if I have a perfect team and then I draft freaking, if I draft like Snom, who cares?
My argument, like with this team, people might not really be looking at Guzzlord and prep, or even like Illumise, whereas this team, like every mon is something you should be looking at in prep. That was my argument.
Well, that's on them for not looking at it. I'm not looking
Maybe.
at Belly Bolt. I don't care about Belly Bolt. Like, bring it against me. I don't care. Um,
I think you should be looking at Bully Bolt prep. But that's besides the
crazy.
point. Um,
Conk is amazing. Darkrai is amazing. Boulder is okay. I haven't really had a chance to really use it, but it looks good on
I
paper. Tinkaton
Boulder's
is
alright.
so frustrating to play against. Leafeon is good. Moth is good. I know you're gonna hate hearing that, but it's true. Feeny, I don't know if it fits amazing, but hey, you needed a fairy and you needed a water, and guess what that is? Belly Bolt's a joke. Tornadus is good. Ambipom is decent, and Donphan is good. Like, this is an okay team. I think Sacred Ashes is better, but like it's picking it's nitpicking, so who cares?
And yeah, I mean, like, some of these teams really aren't, like, that far off each other. Like, maybe some of these bottom two teams are, like, pretty far, but, like, you think Chick's team's pretty good. I think you even thought my team was alright. You think your team sucks. I don't think your team
Yeah.
sucks. Like, these teams are pretty close. Like, this might be, like, a 7.5 out of 10. This one might be, like, a 9 out of 10. You can't see.
I think
I
what
was
the
comparing Chick's team to Heister's team.
I think
Um,
your like I think the problem that you might run into is you look at a team like you look at my team and you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You see like 11 decent mons, but like okay, that's cool, but there isn't like a single mon on my team that like you look at and you go, oh my god, I really don't want to face Raging Bolt. Like, oh no, I don't want to face Raging Bolt. Like, they're all good, but guess how many I can bring every week? I can only bring 6 of them. So,
for
yeah.
you, I'd say it's more like you have Tinglu and Bundle.
Okay, bundle sucks. Like,
That's your opinion.
change my mind.
Most people
I
think
drafted
Bundle's
it
good.
before. I've played against it many times. It is not good. It's not good. I'm gonna use it because I told myself I wasn't gonna re-roll, but like I don't like it. Um, but yeah, no. Those are my thoughts compared to your thoughts. So there we are.
Alright, well, we're almost at an hour, so I think we can end the video.
Oh yeah,
Thank
they've
you
had
for
enough of
joining
me.
me and making this a little bit more fun than what it would have been just by myself. Um, I think we were a little bit all over the place, but it's also late at night, and I don't give a shit. These people asked for PRs, they got PRs. So,
Oh
that's
yeah,
my
they want me to
take.
do. If they want it so bad, they're gonna have to listen to me ramble on about why several of these mons are frauds, and then you be like, no, they're not. Like that's the video. There you go.
That's
Too long didn't watch. That's the video.
Alright, I'm gonna end the video now. Cool, bye.